Welcome Uncle Samo, the Papalolo. Uncle Sammy, the Papalolo, the Papalolo, the Papalolo.
Children would laugh and jeer at Mr. Sammy each time he took his boys, Dubem and Chidumobi, to school. The laugh would not cease even in the classroom. His sons have been nicknamed the sons of Papalolo.
You're welcome to Ideka Channels, our teachable TV channel for stories in English with moral lessons, African folktales, African stories, stories for adults, fairies for kids, and folktale reimagined.
The Kidstar International School, KIS, was a school of high standard built in the heart of a big city. It was built and run for the rich class of people. It was a miracle that Dumebi and Chidubem were among the pupils of the Kidstar International School. Mr. Sammy, their father, was a member of a church where the proprietor of KIS worshipped. The proprietor, Dr. Leo, was a fervent Christian. He knew about Mr. and his family due to their zeal towards the church. In fact, he knew when his wife, Mrs. Anne, died. He was among the members of the church who were pained by the death of Mrs. Anne. They were upset when they found out that the cause of her death. They knew that tuberculosis is a manageable and curable disease. She died because of adequate treatment weren't given to her. For that, the proprietor and his family vowed to assist Mr. Sammy's and the family in a way they could, since they did nothing when the wife was ill. This was the reason Dumebi and Chidubem and were privileged to be in KIS, the courtesy of the proprietor, Dr. Leo. When Dumebi and Chidubem sat for their entrance examination for the state, they came best in the state. They made their father, the proprietress, and the school proud. For this course, the proprietor of KIS extended their scholarships into the Kidstar International Secondary School. Dumebi and Chidubem did not go to sleep in their academic works. More had been given to them. They knew that he who more is given, much is expected. They worked hard day and night academically and came top of all their classes. They had no problems with food. Their father was a great hustler. He was up and doing to ensure that foods were not lacking at home. They had no problem too with the school financial demands. Their sponsor had kept his promises. The two brothers were facing one challenge in every class, a challenge which was beyond them. They were continually bullied and mocked by their fellow students because of their family background and their father's occupation. All the students in their class came from well and known to do family backgrounds except Dumebi and Chidubem. One bully in their class always told them that he was a son of nobody, while they were sons of nobody. Excuse me. He told them that he was a son of somebody, while they were sons of nobody. Each time the school had a new teacher, he or she would be taken round the classes for introduction. The introduction didn't end only with the student's name. It included their families, names, and occupation. Everyone in Dumebi and Chidubem class was always eager to announce his or her family background and their mother's and father's occupation. My name is Miracle Oko. My parents' names are Honorable and Professor Mrs. Dan Oko. A female student in the front seat began the introduction. She said them with pride in her voice. My name is Chike Zodo. I am the last son of Chief Justice Zodo. Another student said, smiling to the class. My name is Dorothy Efun. The names of my parents are Professor and Professor Mrs. Zebulon Efun. My father is the Vice Chancellor of Calvary University. Another beautiful female student said, smiling to the new teacher who applauded her out of confusion.
The introduction continued in this manner until it got to Dumebi and Chidubem, who sat directly beside each other. Chidubem stood and began with his name and surname. When he was about to mention his father's name, the class roared with laughter. Papalolo! The class screamed and laughed the more. Chidubem had no option other than sitting down. He buried his face in shame on the plastic table before him. The same thing happened when the Mobi stood to talk. His was worse because the class didn't allow him to mention his name before the usual Papalolo chorus. Actually, the students were not to be blamed. After all, Mr. Sami and their father usually came to their school, KIS, to display with his Papalolo's attires. He came to entertain the guests each time the school had one ceremony or the other. Everyone knew that if it were by the sole effort of Mr. Sami and the Papalolo, his two sons would not be among the pupils of Keystone International Nursery Primary and Secondary School. Mr. Samian lives in the big city with his two sons. He lost his wife few years ago after the birth of their second son, Chidubem. Mrs. Annie, the wife of Mr. Sami, had tuberculosis. The disease was not well treated and managed, so it killed her. The death of Mrs. Annie grieved Mr. Sami in a great way. Some people used to gossip that the death of his wife affected him mentally. But that was not true. The manner which he took care of the boys did not show he had a brain fag. He never played with the two boys, his sons. He did not marry a second wife to replace his first. In fact, he vowed not to take a second wife. This was because he feared another woman may maltreat the two boys. Together, they live peacefully in one-room apartment. Mr. Sami is a hustler, a very great hustler. He did all kinds of menial jobs in order to put good food on the table. Out of his many jobs, he was popularly known and addressed as the Papalolo. This was due to his manner of dressing and the roles he plays in the places of ceremony. As part of making money, he went to places where there were celebrations and ceremonies. He used to dress abnormally in rags and stuck his buttocks with clothes to give him a fake buttocks. He always wore artificial wig on his head, mustache and beard, just like the Father Christmas. He wore a broken eyeglasses and funny outdated long mouth shoes. On his dirty shirt was a tie that was off color and extended down to his big stomach, his artificial big stomach. He wore his trousers backward. He used a frying pan as his camera. He pretended to video the guests of the ceremony. He pretended to video the guests at the event with the frying pan. He danced, played, and entertained the people who came to the event. He made some people laugh and made others to cry and run away, especially the children. He behaved abnormally and the children jeered at him. Sometimes he gave them a little chest when they crowded around him. No one could tell whether Mr. and enjoyed being a papalolo. All people could say was that he made money from it. Those who plan for the event always invite him to entertain people by his act, and they dash him some money. He joyfully thanked them by doing a buttock dance. Dimobi and Chidubem were now in SS3, their final year in secondary school. They were registered for senior secondary certificate examination, that is SSCE, and joint admission matriculation examination by their sponsor, that is JAM. They major in science, that is, they are in science classes. At the end, when the SSCE results were released, the two brothers credited their all the subjects they sat for. It was not just an ordinary credit. They had amazing results. A's were lined up in all the subjects. As if that was not enough, when the JAMB results were released, they made another landmark. Dumebi and Chidubem's scores were among the best two highest scores in the nation that year. Their first choice of the courses in their JAMB and after their examination was medicine. Their dream profession was to become medical doctors. So due to their outstanding performances, the federal government awarded them scholarship to study medicine in any federal university of their choices. At the end of the term, the Keystone International School gathered as usual for their end of the year and graduation party. The school graduated her pupils and the senior students. The pupils and the senior students were either graduated from lower classes into higher classes. Some were graduated into the higher institutions, like the senior ones, like the class of Dubem and Chidubem, like the class of Dumebi and Chidubem. Chidubem, the best student of the year in KIS, was asked by the school management to give a farewell speech to the school and to the guests on behalf of his class. And as usual, Mr. Sami and their father came in his Papalolo attire. He was dancing and entertaining the crowd. Those who were amused by his funny display dashed him money. When it was time for Chidubem to deliver his speech, Mr. Samian went quietly to a corner and took his seat. He was overjoyed that day, but that very moment he became sober and quiet.
Good day, the proprietor and the proprietress, the chairman of this great occasion, our good parents and teachers, fellow students and invited guests, other protocols observed.
Chidubem began his speech.
I must first of all begin by giving honor to whom the honor is due. I salute the Almighty God for making this day a reality. You and I exist today is by His making. We are breathing today because He allows us. To Him be all the glory. I want to say big thank you to the proprietor and the host of this great event, Dr. Leo Nochi. He is behind the reason purpose like my brother and I find ourselves among the students of this great Kickstar International School in the biggest city in the town. Out of his benevolence and generosity, we put through the primary and secondary classes in this school. May the Lord reward you, sir. This speech will be incomplete if I fail to introduce myself.
He paused, looked around, and beckoned at his brother to come over to the podium.
My name is Chidubem Ani. By my right is my elder brother, Dumobi Ani. Seated over there is our great father, the hustler.
He paused again and called on the ushers to bring his father to the podium. Mr. Samiana had been weeping since his son began the address, the farewell speech. He used his oversized coat to wipe away his tears and the mucus from his nostrils.
I am not ashamed to present my father to you. He is Mr. Samiani, the Papalolo. Yes, we are the sons of the Papalolo. But I want to let you know that it is not about whose son you are or the class you belong. It is about the pace and the goal you set for yourself. Your family background has no role to play in your destinies and your success. After all, it is in the Latin maxim that says "Q sera sera," which means what will be will be. We, the sons of Papalolo, are proud today because we know tomorrow holds the best.
Hey, what they want? The sons of Papalolo, they are going to become medical doctors in few years. A woman screamed from the crowd and interrupted the speech for the moment. We thank you for listening. Please wait for part 2.